Hi, I'm Lindsay. This is video number 3, and today we're going to be playing out scenario number 2. This is my friend Nick, and he's going to be playing my friend in this scenario, who is somebody who has a short tolerance for patience and has been blowing off steam lately by doing some inappropriate things. So here we go. Hi Nick, I've noticed lately that you have been dealing with your anger in a very negative way by like acting out towards others and throwing things and kind of lashing out at other people. Is there a reason that you're acting out in that way?
I don't think it's a fair assessment to say I'm throwing things. I'm just blowing off steam because, how else are you supposed to, express your anger?
I've noticed that lately you've kind of been acting out towards others and lashing out and throwing things and just getting very angry over things. Is there a reason for that?
I mean, none that you would understand. I mean, it's just people are slow and they don't understand how I feel and they're just really always in my way.
Well, is there a more productive way that you could deal with your anger instead of just throwing things? Like the other day you threw something at me and when you got angry.
Well, I don't believe that it is healthy to not show how you feel. And if you throw things, then it's fine because it gets your feelings and they go away.
Well, I think that instead of throwing things, maybe you could talk it out with somebody or do something else besides throwing things, because you could injure not only yourself, but you could injure your surroundings and people around you by doing that.
Maybe they shouldn't have made me angry, but I mean, it wasn't fair that that lady cut me off on the highway. Like, I was obviously there. She should check her mirror first, and so I sped past her and flew her the bird. So I mean, it's whatever.
But if you have road rage like that, you could easily cause an accident.
Could I?
You could. Because if somebody makes you upset while you're driving and you have road rage, you could run them off the road or do something very dangerous that could not only injure them but injure yourself.
Okay, well that's a little true, but I don't think I get that angry when I'm just blowing off steam.
Well, the fact that somebody called the police on you for road rage the other day.
They were just checking in on me.
I think if they were just checking in on you, the police wouldn't have come. I don't think that it's normal for somebody to have the police called on them when they get upset while driving.
I mean, that's what they're there for. That's their job, is to make sure that you're okay. And they were just saying, hey. And I didn't get charged with anything, and I don't think that I should be at blame here because, people have bad days, and mine is just a lot of days sometimes.
So are you denying that you have an anger problem?
No, I'm denying that people are stupid and that I am just dealing with my issues through showing people how I feel. Like the other day when my coffee was bad, so I threw the cup across the room. People should make better coffee.
But was that really necessary? You could have instead just not gone back to that coffee place, or I don't know, gone back up to the counter and told them what was wrong with it and maybe got another cup of coffee instead of acting out and throwing it.
I mean, I guess you're right. I just don't really often know how to calmly ask someone to put more cream in my coffee.
Well, usually there's also a reason behind hostility and anger. Is there anything that lately has just been on your mind or really getting at you that has made you act out so rashly? Because I know you, and I know before you would never act out like this, and all of a sudden you're doing all these things when you get upset.
I mean, there's a couple things, but it shouldn't have anything to do with how I feel. They're just annoyances, not like the lady on the road or the bad coffee. It's kind of stupid stuff.
But before, if something like that would happen that made you angry, you would rationally talk about it with the person who was upsetting you or with whatever was upsetting you so much you wouldn't throw things or yell at somebody or flip them the bird or anything like that.
Talking, though, gets you hurt, and when you talk to people, you get even more hurt because then you lose what you're trying to say to them and your words get flipped around, and so might as well just show them how you feel instead of talking.
Well, have you ever really tried talking? Or have you just yelled? Because if you're dealing it with in an angry manner and just yelling at the person, then obviously they're not going to respond very well.
Well, I'm trying to talk to you.
Yes, that is true. And
But-
it's a calm conversation right now, but usually, lately, when we've had conversations, you just start yelling at me and throwing stuff, or just leaving, or that time when you punched the hole in the wall.
Well, maybe you should catch the flying books better.
I mean, I don't feel that throwing stuff at me is appropriate. Wouldn't you feel upset if I got hurt by something you threw at
I
me?
would. And I'd feel bad if you threw a book at my head, too.
Is there something, is it just me that you have these intense conversations with? Is it something I've been doing?
Yeah, I guess. I feel like you're not being a good friend to me because you're always busy with your sister and you never really listen to what I have to say.
Well, if you had a problem with me, there's no reason to act out in all these crazy, absurd ways. You could have just talked to me about it.
But when I talk to you, you just not shut down and never talk back.
Well, I apologize if you
So
felt
then
that
it
I
makes-
wasn't talking to you in an appropriate way.
Well, then it makes me angry, and so then I have to show my anger, and that's the only way I can show it, is throwing things and being angry, and it's just, people don't understand how I feel, and it's hard because a lot of people don't see what I see. But I guess if we could learn how to talk, then it would be better.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't risk hurting people or hurting yourself or getting in trouble with the law or anything like that.
Yes, I can see your point.
So is this something you can work on with your anger and your
Yes.
outburst?
Yes, if you try to communicate better.
Alright, well, I'm here to talk if you need to talk to me about anything else that's going on. And for now, I think you should just try, instead of outbursting and going nuts on people, I think you should try to calmly either talk it out with them or think about what you're doing before you do it.
Okay.
That could be something you work on.
Found it.
Alright. It was very good talking to you.
You too.